Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 1075, Chapter. The winds of fate had shifted in an instant, carrying with them whispers of imperial power and unseen machinations. Who could have foreseen that the Empress herself would step into this fray? What seemed like a trivial dispute concerning a mere ninth-rank military officer had blossomed into a spectacle of divine authority, for an imperial decree now hovered in the air, to be read in full view of all, and the legendary Q Chushe, a superlative among the elite, had been summoned to deliver it. "Ling Han, receive the decree!" Q Chushue's voice rang with unwavering authority as she extended the scroll. With a bow of respect, Ling Han accepted it, though inwardly a sly smirk tugged at his lips. Had she arrived sooner, much torment might have been avoided. Yet now, at this crucial juncture, here she is. Q Chushe's gaze swept the assembly as she announced, "Her Imperial Majesty declares that those who render meritorious service shall not be treated unjustly, and no loyal subject shall be left to bitter disappointment." Meritorious service? Ling Han's brow furrowed. What deed of his had drawn the eyes of the Empress? Zhao Lun's mind reeled, recalling Ling Han's return to the base and the swift counsel to the Ninth King to retreat to the Imperial capital. Once, he had deemed Ling Han a coward, a mere mortal facing the hundreds of Sun Moon tier warriors across the river, but now a chill ran through him. Ling Han had uncovered truths unseen by others, truths perhaps even entwined with the retreat of the Eternity Sky majestic empire. His complexion darkened, a mix of shock and indignation. Time and again he was bested by this seemingly unassuming youth, and no explanation sufficed. A surge of killing intent radiated from Kyuxue, her eyes sweeping the 30 witnesses, leaving them trembling in silent terror. "Loyal subjects shall not be disappointed," she intoned, and with a mere gesture, a man's head was obliterated in a crimson spray. The Ministry of War itself trembled under her authority, for none but she dared such open execution, sanctioned by imperial decree alone. Screams tore through the hall. Pleas for mercy and confessions to implicate Zhao Lun and Sha Yuan fell upon deaf ears. Q Chushue's palm descended again, and 20 heads followed in a bloody ballet of brutal justice. The air hung thick with fear and awe. This was the Empress's judgment, unyielding and absolute, a reminder that the web of mortal intrigue spun by the generals could never shadow her sight. Yet in her execution, a measure of grace remained. Zhao Lun and Sha Yuan were spared, left to reckon with the stark display of power without consequence. Ling Han, meanwhile, found himself elevated, granted the rank of a 7th-rank military officer, equal to Zhao Lun, a deliberate mark of imperial favor. With the proclamation complete, Q Chushe withdrew, her presence leaving an invisible weight upon all who remained. "I shall not further disturb your trial. Continue as you will," she said before departing, the crowd kneeling once more in acknowledgement. Her heavenly body tier aura had been overwhelming, a living testament to the might of those sanctioned by the throne. Trembling, Gu Tianchu's voice quavered. "Are we continuing the trial?" The answer was clear. Further inquiry would be folly. Kong Chenghei's declaration came reluctantly, yet resolute. The witnesses were false, the charges of defection and treason entirely fabricated. Ling Han was absolved, his name restored, and the matter sealed under the gravest imperial decree. The 3 officials departed swiftly, their faces pale and their spirits crushed beneath Ling Han's unspoken gaze. Word of the trial's resolution spread like wildfire throughout the imperial capital. The Empress had spoken, none dared challenge her judgment. Ling Han, finally freed from the chains of accusation, turned his gaze toward the great Ling Empire, long delayed by the incursion of the Golden Lion Nation. Preparations completed, alchemical pills refined, wealth secured, his journey home awaited. "I will accompany you," Shu Yanyu declared, her eyes gleaming with resolve. Ling Han's lips curved in a gentle smile. "You are my wife, and it is time to reunite with my brothers, and perhaps in the days to come begin a family of our own." "Go to hell!" Shu Yanyu feigned irritation, rolling her eyes, yet her smile betrayed her fondness. The next dawn saw them depart, the cloud-piercing shuttle slicing through the skies like a streak of divine light. Even the Mountain River tier elites were powerless to intercept them, and the Sun Moon tier pursuers found themselves too feeble to catch up. Half a month passed, and the shuttle finally brought them to the great Ling Empire. Ling Han exhaled, moved by the sight of his homeland. Though now an immortal, his heart clung to the familiarity of his original world. Weng, the formation of the imperial capital, stirred as they arrived, targeting the shuttle. Yet it was but a tremor against their velocity, a shattering void tier formation no match for the power of Ling Han's craft and the nation's blessing. The shuttle breached the defences effortlessly, descending toward the imperial palace, heralding the return of a son of the great Ling Empire. "Who goes there?" The palace erupted in alarm, every eye straining to discern the newcomers. Ling Han had returned, and the tides of fate were ready to stir once more. The moment the defensive formation shattered, the ancient totem sensed the breach and unleashed its silent alarm, echoing through the grand halls of the imperial palace. Within moments, the mighty Feng Po Yun, the Rain Emperor, along with Murong Qing, Helian Tianyun, and a host of elite warriors surged forth, their numbers swelling as soldiers flooded the area, encircling the cloud-piercing shuttle with unwavering precision. The air crackled with tension. Did these palace forces truly dare to harass a kingdom lacking a sovereign? Their audacity knew no bounds. "Humph! Let me shatter this wretched vessel!" Helian Tianyun's fiery spirit ignited the atmosphere. Though his youthful form betrayed a mere child, his aura burned with the gravitas of the immortal level. He thrust his palm forward, the attack manifesting as a roaring black dragon, streaking like a shadowed tempest toward the cloud-piercing shuttle. Yet before it could strike, a colossal demonic beast materialized, and with a single sweeping claw the dragon was obliterated effortlessly. From its very being resounded a triumphant roar. "Ha-ha! The Asura Demon Emperor have returned once more." Shock rippled through Helian Tianyun and the assembly. All knew the name of the Asura Demon Emperor. Not long ago, he had sought to claim Ling Han's fated destiny, conspiring alongside the five sects in a failed attempt to seize him. Subdued by Ling Han before, how could he now appear with such overwhelming might, effortlessly dispersing even Helian Tianyun's full-force assault? Helian Tianyun's mastery had recently pierced the immortal level, his cultivation stretching to the shattering void tier across 2 lifetimes. Ling Han, having opened the skies, had achieved a staggering 14-star power, further blessed by the heaven and earth. Helian Tianyun, though formidable with 16 stars, now paled before the Asura Demon Emperor. The magnitude of the demon's power left no room for doubt. It was a presence that could unmake mountains and rend the skies. Yet before fear could take root, a slender, commanding figure stepped forth. A single gesture, a tap upon the demon wolf's head, turned the terrifying beast into a tamed companion, its previous majesty replaced by an obedient wagging of a massive tail. "Hey, this little Asura has returned to its homeland and got carried away. Master, forgive me," it murmured, subservience etched across its monstrous visage. A wave of astonishment and joy swept through the gathering. "Fourth brother! Your Majesty, Master!" "Young Master Ling Han!" Voices rang out in unison. Ling Han had returned. Bounding forward, he embraced Feng Po Yun, Ding Ping, Kan Ye, and the 7 kings. The rare tears of men hardened by combat flowed freely now, mingled with laughter that rang clear across the palace grounds. Shui Yanyu, standing quietly, observed with a mixture of delight and curiosity. Ling Han's true face, long masked in the imperial capital, now shone in unguarded sincerity. Feng Po Yun and the others' eyes fell upon Shui Yanyu, recognizing the weight of her presence, her aura emanating an immortal-level suppression that even geniuses could not surpass. Ling Han's smile softened, introducing, "This is my wife, Shui Yanyu." Embarrassed yet pleased, she offered a respectful bow, her words carrying elegance and modesty. Helian Tianyun bristled, feeling overlooked, but Ling Han dismissed him with a playful shove, sparking his indignant roar. Laughter mingled with the lingering tension, the atmosphere a dance between awe, relief, and camaraderie. Ding Ping, hesitant yet earnest, received Ling Han's appraisal. "Not bad. You've reached the spiritual infant tier since I departed over a year ago. I shall personally guide you to the immortal level before I leave again." The reunion swelled with pride and anticipation. Ling Han's words carried an unmistakable command of destiny. "This time, not only I depart, but you, my brothers, shall accompany me. Foundations have been laid in the chaotic star's majestic empire, and your strength shall aid our journey." Feng Po Yun and the others, geniuses in their own right, felt the surge of excitement. Each longed to carve their path in the immortal realm, yet had been bound to safeguard the great Ling Empire. Now, seeing Ling Han's triumph, their hearts soared with renewed purpose. "Fourth brother, you are remarkable. I feared it would take over a century before we met again." The Rain Emperor laughed, admiration and disbelief mingling in his voice. Only Shu Yanyu fully grasped the depth of Ling Han's achievements over the past year, the culmination of a fated life, opening the skies in a small world, gathering power few could comprehend. Murong Qing eagerly pressed, "Come, tell us of your journey. What is your cultivation now?" Ling Han's openness inspired trust, and he revealed the peak stage of the medium extreme. Helian Tianyun choked, the difficulty of advancing in the mountain river tier weighing heavily upon him. Even for Ling Han to achieve the peak of medium extreme was a feat bordering on the impossible. 2 lifetimes, 2 worlds, yet Ling Han's prodigious talent outshone even the exceptional Helian Tianyun. Understanding this, Shu Yanyu's heart swelled with awe. Helian Tianyun, though powerful, now seemed small beside Ling Han's brilliance, a brilliance forged by destiny itself. Ling Han's laughter rang across the palace grounds. "Come, let us walk and speak." The 4 brothers, joined by Helian Tianyun and Ding Ping, followed. As they strolled, wine in hand, Ling Han recounted his year-long odyssey, painting vivid tales of trials, victories, and the cultivation heights he had achieved. Emotions surged, hearts stirred, and the brothers' spirits longed for the boundless immortal realm, yearning for adventures that would carve their names into the annals of eternity. When his tale concluded, Feng Po Yun and the others shared the latest developments in the Great Ling Empire. Restlessness brewed beneath the surface, the world poised on the brink of change, waiting for the next chapter of destiny to unfold.